Moxxi's bar is home to the two greatest things on Pandora. Well, the second best, the slots. Can two gambling addicts beat Borderlands 2 using only slot machine gear? Or will the most handsome man in the galaxy be too difficult to handle? I roll into Pandora as Zero, ready to run a sniper build. Meanwhile, Chooch picks Maya, whose ability to bubble enemies makes it impossible for me to miss shots. The first order of business is to ditch the starter pistol from Claptrap because it's not worth the pixels. Then we get to work smacking some bullymongs. Knuckledragger is a simple fight, except for the part where he perches on a cliff like a bird, taunting us because we cannot punch that far. Eventually he falls and we start clearing out the town like we're brick. Claptrap gets his eye back in place and we head out. After just 3 rapid deaths, we make it to Boom Boom. The plan is straightforward. I take out the little one and Chooch handles the big one. Flawless execution. With them down, we unlock our action skills and push through. Things are going pretty smooth until a BA enemy gives us trouble. After saving Claptrap from getting jumped, Chooch teaches me a speedrun shortcut and we swiftly reach Captain Flint. The plan for this one is simple. We just have to bait him to the corner close to the respawn area when he inevitably sets us on fire. A few deaths later, the strategy pays off, and we set sail on Claptrap's vessel. Once we land, we fight through a couple more enemies while Chooch stealths his way to grab the catch-a-ride part, and we roll out with 0 problems. Along the way, one of Reese's attackers gets knocked off a cliff, and I casually watch him get obliterated by a vehicle. I manage to grab the power core in between all the enemies, and we take it to Sanctuary, where the real fun begins. After a bit of gambling, we pick up our first guns and head out to take out some assassins for a side mission. My sniper is already making things easier, and the assassins drop one after another. By the time we're done, we hit level 9, turn in the mission, and then hit the slots again because the addiction is already setting in. We head out to track down the Firehawk by following the blood-stained breadcrumbs left by the Bloodshots. On the way, we hit level 10 and help Lilith, aka the Firehawk, defend her hideout from a psycho invasion. With that handled, she sends us to rescue Roland, who unsurprisingly has been captured by bandits. To get in, we need a bandit-style vehicle. Before gathering the parts, we find a slot machine and spin it a few times. After losing a couple bucks, we find a great idea to get our money back, so we rob an innocent caravan. Back at Ellie's, we spot a bandit vehicle with a driver who seems a little too under the influence. With our new ride, we roll up to the camp, jump in and take down Bad Mall with no real issues. Then we push through the compound and reach the big toilet-looking room, where things immediately go south. Enemies are everywhere, deaths start piling up, and then Mad Mike pulls out his cross-map, knife-throwing skills and reminds me that snipers cannot stop melee weapons. After wiping out wave after wave of bandits, we take down Mad Mike and move in to free Roland. Unfortunately, the second we find him, bots swoop in and snatch him away. Now it's a chase. With my current sniper build, the best way to handle the bots is this. Take one arm out, then the other, and then finish with a shot to the eye. It works like a charm. We finally come face to face with the bot that stole our soldier, and he goes down quickly. But in his afterlife, his loader army decides to exact revenge by never giving up. Once we get back up, Roland heads back to Sanctuary and we follow behind. We hit the slots and in record time I pull 3 level 13 weapon upgrades. We head out and it's a good thing I've got a fire weapon because nothing says rise and shine Mordecai like setting 3 Varkas ablaze. On the way out I burn through a few more, hit level 13 and equip my new gear. Our next goal is to retrieve a couple of missiles for Tina. On the way back, I decide to play a little minesweeper. Spoiler alert, I lost. We take down the train, push through a few bots, and run into Wilhelm. 2 deaths and a mountain of bullets later, he finally goes down. Back at Sanctuary, the new power core is a trap and people start spontaneously exploding. During such horrific times, I do what any rational person would do, I hit the slots. Next, we fight through the fridge, where we get a brilliant idea to farm some crystalisks for some cash. That also goes poorly. We end up spending more time reviving each other than actually making money. We finally get the chance to make a break for it, so we run for our lives. We then run into some stalkers, but with my action skill, I can see them while they're invisible, making them a little bit less annoying to kill. Then I decide to cross the water without my boy, which ends up in me getting sniped and bleeding out. Lesson learned, never leave the boys behind. This is where we have the most fun of the entire run. We fight this Thresher. It takes over 3 minutes, countless of deaths, and just about every bullet we own, but it finally falls. To celebrate getting through the frustration, we do a victory teabag because we earned that one. Now it's time to defend the beacon. Chooch attempts a car cheese strat, which fails miserably. Still, we hold the line, get the fast travel back online, only to die moments before making it back to Sanctuary. After more gambling, we head off to meet the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Luckily, we brought a pepperoni pizza. In return, they tip us with bullets, because violence is the only true currency in Pandora. Unfortunately, that means we have to shell shock them and take down their old master, Cowabunga. With the delivery handled, we meet back up with Mordecai, who's dealing with a missing bird problem. What follows is a long, exhausting journey filled with Hyperion bots and soldiers, various wildlife creatures, more bots, even more creatures, until we finally reach Bloodwing. We shred through his health so fast that he glitches out and gets stuck. Our solution was to grenade ourselves to reset the fight, but that didn't work. Somehow I end up next to Mordecai, waving my arms, trying to convince Bloodwing to just fly back to his dad. After a rage quit and reset, we ran back through the enemies we already took out, but on the bright side, that gets us to level 19. This time, we finally get Bloodwing low enough for the dart. Unfortunately, he blows up and I blow up too, because nothing screams friendship quite like getting your flesh mixed up in a fiery explosion. We barely survived Jack's robot invasion and hand Claptrap his invisible upgrade. Since we're already here, we might as well hit the slots. Priorities, right? Pushing through the slabs, we hit level 19 and then get thrown into a brutal initiation. We level up a Goliath to help clear the room, only for him to steal my last stand revive, like the ungrateful rage monster he is. Since we crush the initiation, Brick decides to help us wreck Jack's beacons, and we get back to the casino to get some level 19 upgrades. At opportunity, we go toe-to-toe with Jack's body double and take him down. With our voice mod activated, we detour into Tiny Tina's DLC because honestly, having no shield is getting old, and we can gamble for one there. The only problem is the skeletons are overleveled, and every headshot blows off their head, making criticals impossible. Chooch, being a genius, comes up with a master plan. Lure the boss into a fight with some nearby golems. So we sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. This grants us access to the city, and most importantly, Tina's slots. I'm not sure how rare it is to get a legendary from these slots, but I got one in a matter of minutes.
Buddy. A legendary sniper.
Shortly after, we also score some grenade mods and shields. They all require level 30, so naturally, we store them in the bank for later because patience is a thing. To level up, we head to Fink's Slaughterhouse. The first few rounds are a breeze, then naturally I perish, but luckily I can snipe from the comfort of a window, helping Chooch while distracting the minigun Goliath. Gotta love teamwork. Eventually Chooch hits level 22 and I'm just shy of it. A few bugs later, I finally catch up. Now we can equip our level 22 gambled gear and head back to Claptrap. After trading some gear amongst ourselves, we set off for the bunker. The section before it is just pure pain. If we weren't dying to soldiers and bots, the mortars made sure we did. After a grueling fight, we finally reach the battlefield. We take out all 11 autocannons, then the bunker awakens, only to stand no chance. With the right skills in place, I melt it in seconds. Chooch, wanting to show off a dialogue skip, proceeds to fall to his death instead. Classic Chooch. We reach Angel's Chamber, and what follows is a relentless wave of bots, then destroy the injector, more bots, then the next injector, even tougher bots, then the final injector. After losing a couple of friends, we steal from Marcus and use those goods to gamble for level 24 gear. At Sawtooth Cauldron, we fight through overleveled bandits, where I somehow end up under Claptrap's worst nightmare. Still, I managed to take out a bunch of enemies before eventually falling. We attempt a speedrun shortcut, it goes horribly, so we buy more nades and try again. Same results. Defeated, we take the normal path, dying a few more times before using a mini Goliath to help us out. Then a Thresher tosses him into oblivion. So much for that plan. I take the long way around to deal with Boombringer, which then leads us to take down Mortar, and he drops a legendary. Like the true gamblers we are, we sacrifice it to the casino gods. Chooch ditches me, then we snipe some buzzers and ship off the goods before turning in the mission. Now, it's time to bust the pipe. I head to number 3 and walk right in to complete it. Chooch, meanwhile, struggles with pipe number 2, so I jump in to help. On the way out, he glitches out of the map, which is a fitting punishment for him ditching me earlier. While he's off exploring the void, I bust the pipe down and head into the Badlands. There we visit the dog park, take out some bots, and fight the biggest bot we've ever seen. I finish him off in hand-to-hand combat like a champ. We dart past the rest of the bots and grab the data for Mordecai. Before the final mission, we have 2 goals. 1 is to hit level 30 so we can equip our shields, and 2 is to get a legendary weapon from the Sanctuary slots. So we hit the slots for more gear until I end up broke. I take a quick loan from Chooch and lose it all again. Shocking, I know. Early on in the playthrough, we made one rule. If we hit a boom time, we had to drop a piece of gear. So with this last gambling session, Chooch ends up weaponless and I only have 2 snipers. I hand him one of mine and we head to Ore Chasm. There we hit level 26, but decide this isn't much fun, so we head back to the Wonderlands. After chopping down some trees and following some shiny turds, we run into Davlin. He sends us off to gather blood fruit, which is easy enough to find. With the door now open, we kill armored fellows, slay skeletons, take down lizards, then we meet the White Knight. Slowly but surely, we kill the 3 dragons and escort him to the cave to open the way. At the Tree of Life, Davlin turns evil and suddenly we're dying over and over to what feels like thousands of skeletons. Then come the 4 bosses. Some of the most frustrating fights in this entire run. After what feels like an eternity, we finally take them down and claim our loot. Except the chest has a mind of its own, so no loot for us. On to the mines. After getting wrecked by a crazy orc, Chooch accidentally kills it using its own trap. Then we meet up with the Dwarf King and immediately punch him, because we always listen to Brick. Now it's dead dwarf after dead dwarf until we reach a bridge that is tough to pass. The door is locked, so we solve a series of puzzles to collect each letter. If you didn't know, the letters spell out fart. From there, we head out to the cliffside, where an orc versus human war is happening. Naturally, we third-party the fight and wipe out both sides. After dying a bunch more, we reach the bridge and prepare for the dragon boss. With confidence at an all-time high, we charge in and get instantly roasted, like marshmallows over a campfire. Eventually, we take down the flying lizard and hit level 29, onto the dungeon. We fight through spiders and skeleton armies before I decide to ditch Chooch because the skeletons never stop coming. I get crushed by a platform puzzle, then take out 1738 more skeletons. Exact number, trust me. Finally, I reach Angel and decide to free her because I'm a nice guy. After a hard-fought battle, we squash her like the bug she is. Upon climbing the tower, we finally hit level 30 and get to equip a shield. Too bad Chooch left his in the bank. Flawless planning. The boss fight? So easy we had to beat him not once, not twice, but 3 times. And in this version of the story, Roland is saved by Bloodwing and we free Butt Stallion. After collecting our gambling money, we head back to Sanctuary to grab our stored gear before hitting up Tina's slots. These slots help us stack up cash, so we keep spending until we run out of iridium. With $300,000 to our names, we head back to Sanctuary slots and gamble for hours on end, until we hit the almighty jackpot. Just kidding, we didn't get a legendary, so we decided that the one I got earlier still counts. We meet up with the best bot in town and defend him while he hacks the door. My new legendary sniper is melting bots, but it burns through ammo faster than my girlfriend burns through my cash. With Claptrap left behind, we meet up with the boys. They help us push through wave after wave of bots before also getting left behind. Tough luck, guys. The constructor at the end, deleted, and then Jack, 30 seconds later, also deleted. He summons the warrior, who puts up slightly more of a fight. But gambling gear is the best gear, so he stands no chance either. With the world saved, we head back to the slots, because one day we'll get that legendary weapon. Also, addiction is hard to overcome. But hey, you can beat Borderlands 2 with only slot machine gear.